Alhamdulillah. So we are starting back to our programs. We're very fortunate. Tonight we have a scholar, a leader of our communities in America. She's from St. Louis, Missouri. Dr. Haifaa Younis. She's also the founder of Jannah Institute, work that is catered to our sisters, our mothers, to the women folks who are commonly neglected in society. When you have an imam who's a male, finishes the khutbah, the first people who have access to the imam are the men behind him. So by the time the imam reaches the ladies section, people have to go pick up their kids from school. So communities are now aware of how important it is to have leadership, an example, teachers, mentors from the women community. Give them a round of applause for the sisters, guys. Mentoring one sister is raising a community, and mentoring one male is doing a good job to that one male. You know, you are changing the trajectory of society. I am standing here because of my mother, with all great respect to my father too. Sheikh Hamza and all the people that spoke earlier today, that will speak later on, their mother's contributions are instrumental. So our society owes it to our sisters. And we sisters and brothers have to support institutions who develop the future leaders and scholars from the Sisters for America, and Dr. Haifaa Younis is one of them. Please welcome them. Dr. Haifaa, ahlan wa sahlan.
السلام عليكم. بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. Jazakallah khair, Sheikh Abdullah. I don't deserve any of what you said, but fully agree about part one, which is for sure we need a lot of sisters to be more active in deen, in learning, in educating yourself, being a leader in the house, being a leader in the community. But it's time, definitely, we are way behind. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make it happen. It's a pleasure to be in the Bay Area. I just came from St. Louis yesterday, 16 degrees, and come here in 66. It's painful, but it's good. Alhamdulillah. We don't have that much traffic, so there is some balance. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. As you all know, and I have to make a confession, I didn't know why it was love stories in the Quran, and then I was just reminded today. So tomorrow or Monday, the majority of people will be celebrating Valentine's Day. And let's be honest, we live in this country. And I was just researching before I came in here. Every Valentine's Day, there is 58 million chocolate being sold. 58 million. Don't fall into that trap. That's what I want to say. No, and I do mean this. Why is that? Because we have much better. And I love the idea, actually. May Allah reward you. The love that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala spread among us in the Quran through Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam is way beyond a piece of chocolate. And again, don't fall in that trap. Buy a chocolate anytime, but don't single it in that day. If you want to single anything, single him, subhanahu, on your daily basis, and single Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam on single daily basis. Revive his sunnah, revive his love. And I was asked to talk about Surah Al-Duha, and before that, I want to just start with the basics. What does the word love mean? And if I'm going to ask many of you, everybody will give a different definition. But let's look at it, and I actually looked it up in the dictionary. Because what is love? And they define it many ways, but that one, I liked it more. It's intense feeling of deep attachment or appreciation. So you love something, and that something could be, usually we think of human being, a she, a he, a mother, a father, a child, usually, a spouse. But also we have love for things. And love of things also, you attach to it. And how do you know you're attached to something? See yourself what happens when you lose it. What happens? How many of us, when we lose something, we say, قدر الله ما شاء فعل. Allah have decreed, and whatever Allah decree will happen. Versus why this happened and why. So that's number one, is love. And this deen is all about love. Unfortunately, a lot of us maybe did not pay attention to this part. Most of it, if not all of it, is about love. But the expression of love is in different ways. Enough for all of us. Open the Quran. The first verse of the Quran is what? First verse in the Quran is what? Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. And how did Allah presenting himself, subhanahu, to you and me? By love. Right? And he chose ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. He could have said Al-Aziz al-Jabbar, Al-Qahhar, Al-Qawi, any of the names you know. But he said ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So keep in your mind, as you see people around you celebrating, I already have it. I don't need a piece of chocolate. I don't need a flower. I don't need it. I have it. What I need to revive in me, that love that he gives me, and I should give him more. And the Duha, Surah Al-Duha, which I'm sure almost everybody in this room knows it or knows the meaning of it. And I'm going to take you through it quickly and see where is the love. There's no word love. There's no hubb in Surah Al-Duha or attachment. It starts, if you want to divide the three parts. There is the first part, where it is the oath. And then there is what Allah is telling the Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam, the love part. And then a reminder or an order. When you love someone, you look at them and say, I love you. Remember what I did for you? Please do this for me. That's Surah Al-Duha. That's what it is. An oath, and think of it in your daily life. By Allah, you are the most closest person into my heart. Remember what I did for you, the days I stayed up to teach you, to cook for you, to do this, whatever it is. So please do this for me. That's a statement of love. And that's Surah Al-Duha. وَالضُّحَى وَاللَّيْلِ إِذَا سَجَى. By the glorious time of the day. Many translation. The shiniest time of the day. One. وَاللَّيْلِ إِذَا سَجَى. And when the night grows into still and darkness. Opposite. Very common theme in the Quran. It's always al-layl wal-nahar. The day and the night. Ash-shams wal-qamar. It's a very common parables of the Quran. One similar to the other. Why there is an oath? What does an oath teaches you? What is the statement Allah wants to tell me and teach you and make us live by it? When you say by Allah, usually you are going to say something very important. You want to bring the people's attention. By Allah, I love you. Or you say, by Allah, don't do that. Don't push me to the limit. And Allah says, وَالضُّحَى وَاللَّيْلِ إِذَا سَجَى. And what next? Your Lord has not, never forsaken you or hated you. And this is to you and me. The Quran is for you and me to live by. When I read it, one of my first teachers is always to say this. Open the Quran, put your finger on it. Don't read anything. Say, this is the word, هذا كلام ربي. This is the word of my Lord, and he's talking to me. And the Sahaba used to see it as messages from Allah. So he's telling you, of course, telling the Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam, number one, your Lord will not forsake you. And he will not change. His feelings will not change, subhanahu, the way Allah, befit Allah, subhanahu wa ta'ala. Why did this happen? For a hikmah, for a wisdom, Allah decided the connection that Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam had on daily basis, sometimes twice a day or more, with Allah, through Sayyidina Jibreel. Allah decided to stop for 3 days. We don't know why. stopped. Allah has His own wisdom. Think of this. Every word I am going to say about the Rasul and this incident is me and you in this life. And imagine what happens when your lifeline is chopped suddenly. No Sayyidina Jibreel. And imagine this Surah Al-Duha was revealed in Mecca. So imagine what people said. The talk of the town. Imagine this, right? Even in some of the commentaries, if you read that the wife of Abu Lahab, she said his Lord hated him. Hasha Allah. And the Rasul alayhi salatu wassalam. 3 days, Sayyidina Jibreel came to Rasul alayhi salatu wassalam. This was revealed. And look at the love moment. Rasul alayhi salatu wassalam asked Sayyidina Jibreel, why didn't you come? Why didn't you come? He didn't say, why didn't Allah send you out of adab, etiquette? And Sayyidina Jibreel, the meaning of, I do what I am ordered. Another etiquette. مَا وَدَّعَكَ رَبُّكَ وَمَا قَلَى. Your Lord have not forsaken you and will not hate you. I want everyone in this room to have this statement inside your heart. So when you go through difficult time, مَا وَدَّعَكَ رَبُّكَ doesn't mean Allah will leave me. He will never, subhanahu, unless I decide to move away. As the Rasul ﷺ said, لا تملوا. The meaning of it, you will not, Allah will never get bored of you unless you get bored. ما ودعك ربك وما قلى. Not. 2, and it's beautiful relationship. The next one is وَلَلْآخِرَةُ خَيْرٌ لَكَ مِنَ الْأُولَى. The life to come, way better than this. What is the relationship? He's talking about love. He's talking about, I did not change. My feelings are the same. I will never let you down. What is the relationship? It's beautiful when you read. You know how we are on daily basis, and I think even more in the Bay Area, because it's a much faster paced. It's crowded. You drive too much. It's more. You know, when at one point you say, I can't take this anymore. This is too much on me. 2 things, remember. مَا وَدَّعَكَ رَبُّكَ وَمَا قَلَى. Your Lord will never forsake you. Turn to Him. Ya Allah, make it easy. Ya Rabbi, make me feel better. Ya Allah, I need this. Ya Allah, I need that. Whatever it is. 1. But 2, that's what He was telling him. What is coming is way better than this. Meaning, don't waste too much energy on this. How long we will live? قالوا كم لبثتم في الأرض عدد سنين قالوا لبثنا يوما أو بعض يوم فاسأل العادين. They were asked, how many days you lived on this earth? They said, a day, 2. قالوا إن لبثتم إلا قليلا لو كنتم تعلمون. You stayed very few. Don't waste your energy from morning to evening. I call it the rat race. We are all in it, whatever you do. You don't know how the morning starts and how it ends. No. وَلَلْآخِرَةُ خَيْرٌ لَكَ مِنَ الْأُولَى. Focus on where are we going and why it is better. For Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam, scholars put beautiful commentary on the whole theme of the ayah, the surah. They said this chapter is a letter of love from Allah to Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam. Because it's the only chapter, it all talks from the beginning to the end about the Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam. It's a love letter. You know, when you read a text message and Allah is telling him, I did not change. I did not let you down. Don't worry about what's happening. Wait and see what I have for you. And that should be you and me, if I work for it. ألا إن سلعة الله غالية. ألا إن سلعة الله الجنة. What Allah has is very expensive, very hard. ألا إن سلعة الله الجنة. What Allah has is Jannah. We have to earn it. It doesn't come free. As they say here, those of you who work, you know this very well. There's no free lunch in this country, they say. الآخرة خير لك من الأولى. When life gets so tight, so hard, everyone is is not what I'm thinking, everything is not going the way I want, think of al-akhirah and work for your akhirah. And then the next one, and this is specifically for him, alayhi salatu wassalam, وَلَسَوْفَ يُعْطِيكَ رَبُّكَ فَتَرْضَى. And for sure, your Lord, and he says رَبُّكَ. And those of you who know the language of the Quran, it's very different when Allah says ibad, when he say ibadi. When he said servant, he says my servant. And now he's telling Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam, رَبُّكَ, your Lord. Your Lord. He's going to give you till you are happy. And if I or you were in this position and Allah will tell me, what do you want? What are we going to say? Give this to my child, give this to my family, give me health, give me this, please give me Jannah. What did the Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam ask? Does anyone know? What did he ask? Ummati, ummati. My ummah, you and me. You and me. And where are we? From the real love, not the tongue love of Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam. Where are we from his sunnah? وَلَسَوْفَ يُعْطِيكَ رَبُّكَ فَتَرْضَى. You're going to be happy. You're going to be pleased. Don't worry. Don't worry. Again for you, everybody, myself number one. Don't worry. What is there is way better. مَا لَا رَأَتْ عَيْنٌ وَلَا سَمِعَتْ أُذُنٌ. No ear has heard and no eyes have seen what is there in Jannah. And then he reminded him, and this is again for everybody. Every time I deliver a baby, some of you may know I'm an OBGYN. Every time I deliver a baby, I remember this verse. أَلَمْ يَجِدْكَ يَتِيمًا فَآوَى. You came alone, by yourself, not even a clothes, can't say a word, cannot even feed ourselves. You all know this, mothers and fathers. And then, here we are. فَآوَى. He gave you shelter. He gave you shelter, gave me shelter. And when I read this, I remember, how can I complain and you complain? And Allah gave me roof and gave me food. And I am healthy. من أصبح آمنا في سربه معافا في بدنه يملك قوت يومه فكأنما حيزت له الدنيا. Whomsoever wake up in the morning, that's his word, عليه الصلاة والسلام. Woke up in the morning, you have a roof on your head. Who doesn't in this room? Roofs, not one. آمنا في سربه, you're safe. Don't worry about anything. Healthy. And healthy doesn't have to be your 100% healthy. Alhamdulillah. I can see, I can hear, I can eat. Alhamdulillah. As if whole life, all this world was given to him. أَلَمْ يَجِدْكَ يَتِيمًا فَآوَى. And Allah, they say, it's a solace. Don't worry what they say about you. Don't worry what they do to you. You were there and here I am. وَوَجَدَكَ ضَالًّا فَهَدَى. And you were in error, you were looking, where's Allah? I know this is not right. And those of you who have accepted Islam or came back to Islam, this is you and me. This is you and me. We're busy with life, doing everything. Then suddenly we find out this was all for vain, doesn't worth it. And he guided you and me. Why you are here? It's Saturday evening. You could be anywhere having fun, right? The dunya fun. But you chose to be here. Fahada, he brought you. You didn't come. He brought you. وَوَجَدَكَ عَائِلًا فَأَغْنَى. All of us, especially those of us who came from different countries, you were poor. That's what Allah is saying to Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam. You were poor, you had nothing. And he gave you, Sayyidah Khadija, the support, the money, and then you know the rest. This is you and me, right? Those of you who were born, raised here, at 16 you worked, they give you $5, $6 per hour. And then 20 years later, mashallah, tabarakallah, and more and more. Remember this, don't forget, don't live in the moment as they say. Live in the moment to reflect on the past and on the future. And then what does he want from me and you and him with this love letter? Learn, love doesn't mean no responsibility. Love doesn't mean don't do anything. Because then he comes the order. فَأَمَّا الْيَتِيمَ فَلَا تَقْهَرْ وَأَمَّا السَّائِلَ فَلَا تَنْهَرْ وَأَمَّا بِنِعْمَةِ رَبِّكَ فَحَدِّثْ. The orphan, 3 things: orphan, the beggar, and the bounties of Allah. So when we see orphans, maybe we don't see orphans. But if you travel anywhere else, you will see them right and left. And I remember last week, less than 10 days ago, Allah blessed me. I was in Mecca. Alhamdulillah. And then we were in a dinner in the outside. And we were all sitting there under the mountain of Arafah. And on your right, and we were sitting on this table being served the best food. And literally at that end, families waiting, children waiting for us to finish. So they eat. And I looked and I said, أَلَمْ يَجِدْكَ يَتِيمًا فَآوَى. Why me? Why you? Because Allah loves us in general as His creation. But also it could be a test for me and you. So remember, love comes with responsibility. What did I do for you, Ya Allah? For all these bounties you gave me. Complain from morning to evening. And the Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam, مَا لِي وَلِلدُّنْيَا dunya. What do I have to do with dunya? I am like a stranger, traveler. Come in, stay under a tree, and then leave. And the last one, وَأَمَّا بِنِعْمَةِ رَبِّكَ فَحَدِّثْ. The bounties of your Lord. And he's telling to Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam, talk about it. And scholars here differed. Should we talk about what we have and what Allah gave us? Yes, as long as you are saying it, not to boast, not to brag. My children, my home, my career, whatever I have done. No, I couldn't do anything if it was not for Him, subhanah. 3 parts. Every time you hear an oath, remember this. And remember where we all started and where we are ending. And do the 3 things. And one of the beautiful things that I was reading, they said Ibrahim ibn Adham, when he was reading, وَأَمَّا السَّائِلَ فَلَا تَنْهَرْ, they say when you see a beggar, look how people look at things way different than you and me. And he said, when you see a beggar, say, Allah send your rizq of Jannah to you. Because when you give him, they say, even if they don't need, but when you give him, you're doing it for Allah. And He's calling you for Jannah. I send you someone for Jannah. نِعْمَةِ رَبِّكَ فَحَدِّثْ. Count your bounties, my brothers and my sisters. وَإِن تَعُدُّوا نِعْمَةَ اللَّهِ لَا تُحْصُوهَا. If you start even to count the bounties of Allah, you will not be able to. And Allah said it twice in the Quran. Same start, same beginning, very different ending. In Surah An-Nahl, the bees, where it is the surah of Ni'am, Allah says, Inna Allah laghafurur rahim. Allah is all forgiving and merciful. I complain, I throw food, I waste, I do not take care of the earth, and you name it. And then He still gives me. And in Surah Ibrahim, He said, Inna al-insana la zalumun kaffar. Human being is absolutely unjust and ungrateful. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala not make us of those. Ya Rabbi Ameen. And I'm going to end with a dua, beloved to me, from Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam. Allahumma inni as'aluka hubbak. Wa hubba kulla man yuhibbuk. Wa hubba kulla amalin yuqarribuni ila hubbik. Ya Rabbi Ameen. I ask you, Ya Allah, for myself and everybody. I ask for your love. Wa hubba kulla man yuhibbuk. And the love of everyone who loves you. I don't want people to love me just because. I want those who Allah loves to love me. وَحُبَّ كُلَّ عَمَلٍ يُقَرِّبُنِي إِلَى حُبِّكَ. And the love of every deed, every act, just for one reason, because it's going to get me closer to you. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala respond. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us those who really love Allah and willing to go through this path for His sake and for His sake only, and that we are love each other for only one reason and no other, is for the sake of Allah. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. صلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه تسليما كثيرا. جزاكم الله خيرا.